So you wake up, get ready for work, work out, do your chores day in, day out, day in, day out, rinse and repeat over and over and over again until finally you wake up and you realize, what the heck am I doing? What path am I on? And why am I still utterly unfulfilled? I completely understand this feeling. I was working in a 9-to-5 job and waking up every morning, getting ready to go to work, taking the bus, commuting 45 minutes to an hour, taking 2 buses actually, and then heading into the office, working a job that I didn't really feel that aligned in, sprinting out of the office to catch a 5 p.m. or 5:30 workout class, going home, making dinner, getting ready for bed, just to do it all again. And then I finally woke up and I was like, what the heck am I doing? Where am I going? And why don't I really like my life? I think a lot of us get into this cycle where we're working this job and then we wake up and we're like, what? Why am I going down this road? And it was just something that was paid for us, but do we necessarily really want to do it? Maybe not. And then you have this quarter life, midlife. I've been calling it the tri-life crisis. It's not really a quarter life. It's not really midlife. It's like in between that, where you're like working a job for X amount of years and you're waking up and being like, I'm not fulfilled. So what else do I do? And you want a new chapter, but you don't necessarily know how to get there. That little existential crisis right there. Well, I've been calling that the tri-life crisis, and you are not alone. So when I felt this for myself, I had a moment where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know how I've been doing this for so long, and I don't know how I can continue to do this. So I quit my job. I packed my life in the suitcase and I went to Bali, Indonesia to study yoga, mindfulness, energy healing. And that's when I started to get more zest back in my life and realizing, wow, I was just working this job because I thought I had to, but there's really so much more to my life that I can do. Here's the thing though, you don't have to pack your life in a suitcase and travel the world in order to find fulfillment. What I found were 5 techniques that really helped me bring more joy to my life exactly where I was without having to hop on a plane. These tips transcended borders, whether I was in Bali, Thailand, South America, or back in my hometown of Chicago. These tips work no matter where you are in the world. So if you're wanting to find more joy in your life, definitely keep listening for the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you. So I touched a little bit on this, but I want to go a little bit more in depth. The first thing is the highway concept. So I always talk about this highway concept because I love giving imagery for the brain. So I want you to imagine that you're on a highway and you're just driving along in your car. You're on this highway. Maybe you're a passenger. I'm a passenger princess. So maybe you're driving or you're a passenger and you're on this highway and you're going. And finally you wake up and you're like, where am I going? Like, what is the place? What is the destination that I've been going towards? And you wake up and you realize, I actually don't know. Or this destination was picked out for you by someone else. So for me, for example, I was going down this destination of being in the corporate job and I was trying to climb this corporate ladder and I was like, for who? And for what? That's actually not what I really want to be doing. And so you kind of jolt awake and you're like, hold on, where am I supposed to be going? And I want to choose this path. I like to think of the pathway, the highway, as your old experiences, your relationships, just your environment growing up, your memories. This is what's paving your pathway for you. And oftentimes we're just driving on autopilot to get to the next destination. We're going day in, day out, day in, day out. And then finally we're jolted awake to be like, hold on, where's the turn? How can I create my own life? Instead of just being on this hamster wheel, how can I actually create it? And so you can create your own life. It just takes a matter of becoming aware of the situation you're in. Most people stay on autopilot until they realize, whoop, I'm on this path and I want something different. So if you are here, congratulations, because you're realizing, hey, I'm on this path and I want to do something different for myself. And that is the first step. We're going to swerve and get you off the highway. Now, it might feel a little bit difficult because when you do pave your own path, you have to put in the time, the effort, and the patience and the consistency. There might be days where you're like, why am I paving this path again? This feels like an uphill battle. This feels hard. I'm putting in work every day. I still don't really know where I'm going. but perhaps it feels better to you because you're the creator of it instead of just going on someone else's path. So there's pros and cons each way. But if you really want to create your own path and find that fulfillment and connection to yourself, creating your own path ends up being worth it. The second thing is joy in your day to day. So again, like I said, whether you're on vacation sipping a little margarita or a coconut at the beach, or whether you're in your job doing spreadsheets, you can find fulfillment no matter where you are. How? Well, it's becoming present in your body and choosing that joy. So if you are doing a spreadsheet, can you be so present in that moment and start to shift the perspective instead of, oh my gosh, I hate doing the spreadsheet. This is so annoying. This is so tedious and I don't want to be doing this. Can you find some joy in this of, hey, I'm excited to send this to my teammate, or hey, I'm excited that this is going to help pay the bills for me to do XYZ, or just being more in the moment. And every moment that you show up excited or in your highest energy, you're impacting the environment around you. So you get to choose what you're going to do in your day to find more joy. Also, having something to look forward to in your day. So many people talk about, oh, I want to just have a vacation to look forward to. Well, instead of having something to look forward to maybe once or twice a year, can you have something to look forward to every single day? Can you do something that you're excited about? For me, I love putting on a meditation and doing some yoga and some mood lighting, lighting a candle, and I'm excited to do that. Or I'm excited to hang out with a friend or call a friend. Whatever that is for you, can you find something that's going to lighten up, liven it up, bring some zest to your day? You get to create that and you get to choose that. So even if you're in your work environment, how can you build some more camaraderie there with people? Or how can you use your PTO days, your paid time off to travel on a vacation that you've been thinking about? Are you going to start doing those salsa classes that you're excited about too? Adding in joy and remembering that you are the creator of your schedule really, really helps. So ask yourself what you're currently doing now and what things you don't want to be doing in your schedule. And then think about your dream schedule. What do you want to be doing? And then can you add in more of those things into your everyday? Number 3 is bridging the gap. So just what we talked about of adding more things into your day-to-day that's going to bring you more happiness. I want you to think about your current life and what you're currently doing and what's bringing you joy and what's not. And then I want you to think about your dream life of what things that are really going to light you up that you want to do. And then I want you to bridge this gap. So how can you then start to live out the dream-like schedule? Can you start to drop things off of the current schedule that are not serving you? Maybe it's doing all these tedious tasks that you don't want to do. Is there a way that you can hire someone to do them for you? Is there a way that you can make it more fun? If you have a spreadsheet day, can you do a co-working in an office with someone else and maybe you bring snacks or whatever it is? How can you make it more joyous? And how can you start to add in things into your schedule that are actually going to bridge this gap to start to live that life? So this is thinking about where you currently are, where you want to be, and then what are the action steps you need to take in order to get to where you want to be. And this is me giving you permission that you don't have to do all the things that you hate. Yes, of course, there's a shit sandwich of there's going to be things that you don't want to do, and it's not just like rainbows and butterflies all the time. I think a big part is accepting yourself when you're having an off day. We're not going to be happy-go-lucky 24/7. And so when you are feeling a little bit rough, can you pick yourself up and give yourself compassion? At the same time, can you take ownership of your day-to-day and realize that you are the creator? So really taking action, starting to schedule some things out is really going to help you find more joy and find more things to look forward to in your life. Number 4 is how to forgive yourself more and give yourself more compassion. We talked about this a little bit, but you're not going to be floating on clouds 24/7. So when you are feeling angry, when you are feeling sad, can you let those emotions come up? Can you also forgive yourself for any situations that you put yourself in the past and just find awareness of those, that maybe you're different now, or letting that version of you be that version of you that's given you the lessons? And can you today give yourself so much more compassion? We're so hard on ourselves of, we must get this promotion, we must do this, we need to work out, we need to have this body, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's like, can we find compassion for exactly where we are now and be a work in progress and still want to go after our goals? We can be compassionate and not complacent. So how can you give yourself some more compassion, more forgiveness, and more self-love? Because that's really going to help you in the day-to-day. I used to beat myself up in my head 24/7, and my head was such a negative place to be. And then when I started to give myself more joy and more compassion and more forgiveness, I actually enjoyed being in my head. I actually enjoyed being where I'm at and working on projects and goals. So how can you make your head a nicer place to be? I work on this with my clients as well. So if you're needing more additional help, definitely take a look in the description to see how you can work with me one-on-one or in a group program. Final thing, number 5, getting support in a like-minded community. So when I was working in my corporate job, everyone was like so into event planning. And I mean, it was fun. I liked it, but I felt really different. I didn't really feel like that was for me. I had this love of travel. I wanted to be teaching or doing yoga and all these different things. And I had to find that community for me. When you find a community where you feel like you really belong, that lights the soul on fire. So finding something where you feel like you can really connect to people. Maybe it is at your job, or maybe it is finding a different community within your town. Meetup is a great place to look. Eventbrite has great events on there as well. And also, if you are wanting to do deeper work, I have a community of my own of people doing self-development and personal growth work to really step into their next chapter. I have a group program coming up. So if you're interested in it, feel free to apply to work with me so that we can get you on the path to really find this fulfillment and get over this existential crisis and step into this next chapter to embody and magnetize what it is that you want. So those are the 5 things, the 5 tips that really help. And I want to get into a little segment that I call Neuro Nugget. That's going to talk more about the science of the brain and the science behind finding more joy in our lives. So this Neuro Nugget is from Corey Keyes, who is an American sociologist at Emory University. And he talks about this term called languishing, which isn't necessarily this depressive state, but it's not this thriving state either. It's the state of feeling empty. And we might have all of the things on the checklist that we want in our lives, but for some reason we still have this empty feeling. And Corey talks about in an interview in The Guardian as languishing is the absence of well-being. It's the absence of really good things that make our life meaningful. You might not feel like you have a purpose in life. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like you're not contributing. You don't have warm, nourishing relationships. You don't feel like you're growing as a person. And this can cause us to languish and feel empty. And so these 5 tips hopefully will help you go from this state of feeling empty to start to feeling thriving. So languishing occurs when our brain's reward system isn't sufficiently stimulated. And it leads to a lack of this motivation and this emptiness. So when we engage in activities that bring us joy, and when we have meaningful goals that align with where we want to go, and when we foster social connections and we feel like we have these deep relationships where people really truly understand us, that helps combat this empty, languishing feeling. Corey Keyes talks about how languishing is between depression and flourishing. It can feel like a stagnation. It can affect our moods and our well-being, and there's a lot at play here in the brain. And chronic stress, lack of meaningful engagement, or social isolation can disrupt the balance of our neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and cortisol, and that can lead to this languishing feeling in our lives. And so how to combat languishing, I want to get into our brain hack of the day and just go over again these 5 tips that are really going to help you in your everyday life. So overcoming languishing. So your brain hack of the day today is not only starting to implement these 5 key points that we talked about of understanding your highway and waking up to the life that you want to create, also finding more joy in your day-to-day life. And 3, bridging the gap. So what you're currently doing and where you want to be, how can you be in that middle to bridge that gap? 4, forgiving yourself and having more compassion towards yourself will be really helpful. And 5, being around a like-minded, supportive community. That really makes you feel like you're belonging. So you can start to implement these things today, but if there's one big thing you can take away, what I want you to do, this brain hack of the day, is I want you to become really aware of 3 things in your everyday life. So go throughout your day today or tomorrow and really go through and just become aware of the things that are bringing you joy and the things that maybe you're like, ugh, I don't really want to be doing this. Why am I doing this? So for me, when I did this activity, I realized I was grabbing my phone first thing in the morning. And I also had an alarm clock that I hated waking up to. And then I was kind of just like going about my day for the first 30 minutes, not really doing anything. And I was like, this isn't bringing me joy. So what I implemented instead was that I had a nice sound wake me up that was slowly increasing on my phone. And then I did a meditation right away. And then I decided to put on workout clothes and work out in the morning so then I can get started on my day. So really going through your day, your brain hack of the day, the action step you can take with you today or tomorrow is to really go throughout your day and become aware of what's bringing you joy and what's not. And then you can start to implement some changes for you. If you're wanting more help with any of this, I love supporting my clients who feel that they're in this state and they're wanting to get into the next chapter and they need some guidance and support on how. Feel free to apply using the link in the description to work with me, and I can either put you in the group program that I have coming up or a one-on-one VIP support with me. I look forward to really helping you and getting you to this next chapter in life that feels like there's so much purpose, joy, and zest. I promise you that it's out there. Only way out is through. We're gonna get through it, and these are the first steps you can take to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and comment below. I love connecting with you. So thanks so much for being here, and I will see you again next time. Much love. Bye.